Welcome to this series where we are playing Reforged Eden 1.8 for Empyrion Galactic Survival, and we're actually starting in the middle of nowhere, but I couldn't resist showing you this sunset over the open plains where we are currently stood. Now in this part, what I want to do is possibly go out and move west and explore, possibly follow the sun, or either that or we'll go up and check out the village. But before that, I need to talk about a couple of things. The first one is that I'm not exactly feeling particularly great at the moment. I've got my first cold of the winter and it's gone to my throat. So I've got no idea how long this video will last. Also, my voice is a bit croaky, so apologise if my pronunciation isn't as good as it should be. But I'd really want to make this video because this is turning into a very busy month and I really need to get some momentum going with these series in order to prepare for what's coming up. The other thing also is I've had a couple of comments about Star Salvage. Now this is a new scenario for Empyrion. I've only played about an hour of it and it represents quite an interesting challenge, and it has a certain different take on the game. And somebody did ask me whether I would be doing a series on it, and the answer at the moment is not at the moment, for two reasons. One, as I've already mentioned, I'm completely backed up this month because I think I've had to start too many new series. Most of the games that I'm interested in have dropped updates, like No Man's Sky dropped a massive update, and also I've got a couple of new games that I want to take a look at towards the end of the month, one being Victoria 3. So I don't feel that I could really do justice to a new series playing Star Salvage. And of course, the only way I could do that is to drop this series. But what I am going to do is recommend that probably the best person to watch this on YouTube will be Spange, because he seems to be involved with the creators of Star Salvage. And what I should be doing is watching his series, hopefully to... And what I'll be doing is watching his series to get a bit of insight on that new scenario. And I think that out of the way, so we better talk a little bit about what I've been up to. Now, what I've been doing off camera, my original plan was to come out and mine enough resources to build a small ship. And this is why I've got these portable constructors out. If I show you the map, I've got another one over on the iron deposit. I think I've got one on the copper deposit over here. Because the problem is the carry capacity on this hover vehicle is abysmal. And originally I was going to haul it all back to the UCH wreckage and then manually build the SV there. But to be honest, but to be completely honest, I just got a bit fed up with this. And what I did in the end was, if I come in here, is we need to find Silvershade Light. Yeah, this is my favorite kind of base starting ship. If I come to the factory, you'll see what I've done is by placing the portable constructors next to each mine, I was able to create enough ingots to be able to build this ship. And so this is the way I'm going to go. This will be the only ship I'm going to build in this series, but I feel I need to get a bit of momentum. Otherwise I would have spent hours just hauling ingots across the map trying to get the ship built. So what I'm going to do is kick that off, but we won't be seeing that into the next part, because as I say, what we're going to do is stick with our trusty hover bike here for the moment. I just want to make sure I've got enough fuel. Yeah, we've got enough fuel to be going on with. We've got some food, we've got some ammo. We don't have I need to pick one of these portable constructors up. I think what we'll do is we'll pull out that and then put you into here. So I don't really want to take the logs and stuff with me. The other thing also, what I did you can see from the logs and the crushed stone, is manufactured the carbon substrate out here as well. We'll just take that up, and then we'll just pick up that there. So we've now got the portable constructor. And what I'll be doing is coming back and collecting the resources in these portable constructors once I've got the small ship going. Gonna turn the light on. And let's say my instinct is to go west to begin with, see if we can get back into the daylight. And we're just going to follow the daylight. And because somebody suggested, one, I need to find the Promethium. so that I can fuel the ship. And the other thing also is I'm still looking for crash ships. There's a heat signature over there. In fact, we've got, looks like Talon over there. So I think we're going to go in this direction and see what we can find. Kind of going slightly northwest at the moment. Yep. Those guys are attacking me at regular intervals, which doesn't help matters very much. Whoops. Oh. Cook my goose now. I can't get above water. Oh, I might get above water. Okay, where are we heading? Kind of heading... I think I need to head a bit more west to see if we can get to the edge. This is one of the problems of using a hover bike on the swamp planet. It's not very good over water, but hopefully if I can keep the head above water and we'll just keep moving this way. This is going to take a little while, so what I'm going to do is I'll see you once I get to dry land. Right, here we are. We're just approaching the shore. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful because there's been some creature keeping pace with me while I was actually crossing the water. There he is. Shotgun. Put it this way, on the positive side, killing these guys has been very useful with respect to he needs 35 plant fiber. I think I'm going to rush around here and grab some plant fiber because I think I really need to get make a tent so I can sleep through the night. It's only a few plant fiber. Otherwise, we're just going to be operating in the dark all the time, and I can't see anything. And it's not doing my eyesight that much good. So if I can grab some of these. One thing about this swamp planet, there's no shortage of plant fiber. So just these. That. I think we should have enough by now. That. Make that very quickly, make that tent. Make a couple of those. Get back to the hover bike. Get over there. A bit more plant fiber. And offload the stuff into the fridge. Oops. I think I've just messed up the... Right, we got the tents. Those. Shove the tent down. And we're just gonna sleep through the night. And of course we completed the blueprint. But as I said, we're not going to use the blueprint just for the moment. I just wanted to explore. I'm feeling my ship is out of fuel as well, so of course that's the other risk that you get when you sleep through the night. If you've got food in here, if you miscalculate what will happen is your food will actually spoil. Anyway, oops, got the tent. I picked the tent up, yeah. Tent up. Good. And we're now on just about on a new day. And I think what we'll do is we will go up and check out the village as it's a new day. So we'll go this way and we'll just scoot along the shoreline here. Lots and lots of food resources here as well. What's that? That looks interesting. Oh, Neo. Yeah, we'll take that. Not a lot, but Neo's something that we are finding Neo on this planet could be quite useful. Right, we're now in Talon territory, so we've got to be a bit careful now. We can't mine and it will pick anything now. But the only thing we can do is kill bug uglies. Haven't run into any spiders yet, but I'm sure they will turn up eventually sometime. Oh, look, there's some gold there. And copper. I think that's gold. Let me just have a look. Either gold or neo. Gold bearing rock, but I'm not going to pick that up because if we mine inside of Talon territory, that will ruin up. What is our reputation actually? Of course, we got the only people we've met so far are the Xerox. I think somebody posted a comment about the fact that there's been a change that now you actually have to speak to somebody of a race or come into direct contact with them to get known. And I think that was added as part of the 1.8 update, or possibly earlier. I have to admit, I do struggle a little bit now keeping track of all the changes and what version it comes in. Once I used to have a diary for each game where I kind of kept notes of what changes were coming in, what release they were associated with. The releases now come so thick and fast, I just can't work it out. So Ida, it seems that we may be right, Commander. Nonetheless, the creatures were not described in the Heidelberg's logs and should be investigated for potential information. So what we got to do? We've got to go and speak to the chief in the village here. And he's probably going to send us on some missions. Let me just mark here. Oh, the other thing I will show you is over here. There's odd pieces of pentaxid stuck around here. But again, I'm not going to pick it because that's going to upset them. Hello, guys. Your crossbows. And we'll go and talk to the chief. Must admit, I do like these villages. Anyway, let's just go and say hello to the chief. Sorry, I don't understand your language. So your people are Talon. Okay, wow, this is a different. Chief points to a tapestry just depicting a pyramid-like tower being struck by lightning. Okay. Now the chief gestures to the village gate and turns around. I guess we're done here then. Did you get any of that, Ida? The best I got was the chief wants me to go to some tower somewhere. I have recorded the conversation, identified the structure as indicated, Commander, but it's quite far from your current location. You're emitting a lower electromagnetic signature. Shall I send you the location of the data to your display? Okay, Ida. Okay. There's no point talking to the other people here because we got no money. We got nothing to trade. Art Tower. I must admit, that's a nice twist, the fact that we can't speak the language. I'm assuming that... Oops, I thought he was going to attack me. Okay, where have we got to go? Oh, it's still receiving and sending. Receiving and sending. I think we're going to... Don't worry, Commander. The images observed appear to be use. I think what we are going to do is we're just going to stick to the original plan and go west. Oh, this is ancient tower there, 500 meters. So it's actually close to where we are, so maybe we'll go and check it out. Whoops. Actually, how am I off for ammunition? We've got a little bit of ammunition. Reached level 9, but that's because we discovered all those buildings. Approaching the tower, I detected faint electromagnetic readings. What happened to the Hall of Knowledge? Okay. Yeah, this is fairly familiar. Be interested to see if this is actually... Turn the light off as well to save a bit of power. Reload. Now this has got a trapdoor where we've got to drop down into. Find a way into the tower. Yes, I know. So we're gonna. The Silence structure is more advanced than the Talon village. It may seems many similarities in the architecture. How could they be made? Oh, be many reasons, Commander. Surmise the Xerx's presence here is the cause of their apparent regression. Okay. Yes, that's top of my list. Why send me here? Show me what's it. The device appears to have some kind of holographic terminal and may contain the answers to your question. There's no power. I cannot interface with it. Okay. I'm detecting a live energy conduit running behind the wall. Try pushing against it. The thing is, which wall? Oh. There we are. We turn the power on. I'm reading increased data in traffic. It means that the count in division of 8 by instead of 10, like us, will cause any problem generating will that cause any problem generating a translation key? No, Commander. I will have the translation key completed momentarily. I will transfer the files to your suit systems. So we're actually getting a translation. I've completed the translation key, Commander. Please approach the blue console. Confirm that it's translating the Talon language correctly. Loading Talon translation key into HDDD Talon index. Talon index added to forward translation to HUD and audio input outputs. In the year of 1832/4, the noble Talon, having regained the power of spaceflight, finally returned to the stars, encountered our first adversary in the form of the Trade Federation, an economic power spanning thousands of systems without formal military. They found opposition with our enlightened system of equality and saw our people as both a threat and a resource. With no military force of our own, we turned to the honourable warrior race, great in number and military prowess, but lacking interstellar travel and uplifted them to our allies and protection against the economic might of the Trade Federation. With their military and tactical superiority on our side, the Federation aggression was halted and a stalemate achieved. Seeing no way for a profitable outcome from them, the Federation entered negotiations with our Talon Xerx Assembly to construct a system of codependent commerce between all our peoples, giving out their right to military force in exchange for our allies' protection from external sources in this place. And so the Trade Guild and the Talon Xerx Assembly were formed. So this is very much a backstory to the various factions in the game. Looks like some kind of historical record. It appears to detail the rise of the Talon and their protectors and allies, the Xerax. From the dating system, I believe that that would be some 2,000 years ago, and the documents roughly 1,500 years of Talon Xerax assembly history, over 800 pages. That's a long time to be allies for them to be in the condition they are now. I'm guessing that there's more recent history, maybe one of the other records. Red console next, Commander. Okay, so we're gonna go to the red console. Running Talon translation key. Forward translation to HUD. Slowly the silence spread across the galaxy, engulfing everything it touched. No warning, no transmissions, no survivors. Gone were the days of peace for the assembly. War was upon us once again, and the bonds that bound us together burned bright in the fires of war and waged upon the ancient evil of the past, our past and our legacy. An ancient enemy we thought left behind long ago, bound to a dying galaxy with no way to travel the gulf of emptiness between the origin and the destination. Naive we were. For a while we were bound by lifetimes of memory. They were not. They took a long time. They took the long journey across the expanse with no other thought or risk, only the cost of time that the journey would take. To emerge here and now, when we were once again at peace, to take from us all that we have built again. To fight was our only choice, but time and distance served only to strengthen the ancient enemy. And so our silence spread like a stain across the face of the galaxy. From where they spread, only silence was heard. So I think this is an intro to the legacy. We don't seem to have anything on the Xerax. It's talking about some war. Whatever the enemy was, it was strong enough to topple the formidable alliance that they had ruled the galaxy for over a millennium. I've found the thousands of references to the legacy elsewhere in the database, but little information on their appearance, nothing on their language and culture. So yes, this actually introduces the legacy. It can't have been that effective since it happened, what, 400 years ago, and the Xerox are still here, but there's no need to know about the dead enemy that we may never run into. 239 years, Commander, but indeed the records describe the defeat of the legacy further on. However, the legacy was not completely destroyed, merely rendered dormant through the science and ingenuity of the Talon and Xerox. But nothing that says how the Talon ended up as this. No, Commander, I am not sure that it would be recorded here, so as such an operation would have been surgical, leaving no one up to update the records in the time permitted. There may be more information regarding that time in the green console. But always come back and read about the legacy later on if it interests you. So we've got to go to the green console now. Running Talon translation key. Yep. Wait a second. This console only seems to have a database of Talon-controlled planets, food, dances, and other cultural-related stuff. Well, this is probably what the chief wanted me to read, but it's no use to us. Yes, but this console appears to contain information about the Talon as a people. Personally, I find it fascinating, Commander. Can you enable the upload connection on the console so we can store these files in the UCH database? You, Ida, find something fascinating? That is the most expression I've heard from you so far, Ida. One of my parameters is to investigate and document first contact with any alien species, Commander. I am predisposed to fascination of alien creatures and cultures. Does that mean you're investigating those big spiders that have been running into as well? I haven't seen any spiders yet. Of course, Commander, but if you would like to know more about the creatures you encounter, you can review the ecological database in your PDA. Yeah, I'll pass on that, Ida. Sorry to interrupt, Commander, but I've detected heat signatures moving in on the tower in formation. Where I was able to trace them back to a transport half a kilometre away. They landed outside my focus. Apologise for not detecting them sooner, Commander. How many hostiles are we talking about? There's only 3, Commander, but they appear to have taken flanking positions, 1 on top of the tower to prevent your escape, and 2 preparing to breach. I guess it's time to go. All right. I assume we're going to get breached. Can't. Okay. Got a fire in position. They said there's 1 on the top. Got a little bit of projectile ammunition. 2 little bits of projectile ammunition. Do a quick reload. I haven't done too bad so far. This is the 3rd one. Here's. Gotcha. I don't know if it's me, but the hostiles at the moment seem quite passive. Okay, suspicion. Let's throw out the scan, see if there's anything here. Right, found a Talon guard post. We're still in Talon territory. The only way the Xerox could have beaten us here was if someone told them we were coming. I have a feeling the Talon are not as peaceful as they claim. Okay, what did we get from that anyway? We got some space oranges. Put that in the fridge. Got a little bit of space in here. No, not. Obviously, I didn't empty my. Bit unfortunate. Okay, that's a waste of time. We got rifle upgrade kit. Return to the Talon chief. There he is. He's that way. So I think for the moment we're just going to keep following the mission. I didn't realise I'd forgotten to empty my inventory from the ship. So we're just going to get back to the Talon chief. Hello, doggy. So we're just a couple of these bars. Don't have a lot more space, so we're gonna have to be a little bit careful. I see if you return, traveller. I hope your journey was enlightening. I got some bad news for you, Chief. You read the tales of the past, did you not, traveller? The mind machine that communicates with you was able to read our language to you. So why do you look like you've fallen into a wraithworm nest? He knows about me. That is unexpected. It takes something unexpected to happen to you. The Xeric strike team has been sent to the tower. Yeah, we'll stay diplomatic for a moment. What? The tower contains a record of our history. Much as the Xerics would like to refute it, they would never intentionally destroy such a repository of knowledge, as it may still be of use to if war resumes again. What can you tell? What can I tell you, Chief? They blew it in a war to get in and took out one of the consoles and everything behind it, the red one, I think. By the time I'd reached the tower, they'd already landed a safe distance and were making their way on foot to the tower. That knowledge is backed up, so as long as the other consoles are undamaged, it can be repaired. I can tell what you're thinking, that someone here told that the Xerix patrols where to find you, aren't you? Not to put too fine a point on it, Chief, yes. Apologies, I had to take a drink, my voice was breaking. You can see a year ago when the ships of your people crashed on the planet, several villagers were caught in the fire caused by the flaming debris that rained down across the planet. I ordered my people to go and put out the fires of our settlement, and then those of our neighbours, then the aid of any survivors who kept from your ships. To my sorrow, when we tried to help your people, they mistook us for the Xerix and our aid for attack. We lost many people that night. Several of the young hunters lost friends and family members. We have held a grudge since then. After I'd sent you to the tower to learn our ways and language to prove that we're not an enemy, several of the hunters came to me and demanded that I render you no aid. That instead I should contact our Xerix jailers and trade the information for supplies and weapons. Naturally, I refused, and it would be a poor leader to lend any assistance to the Xerix who enforce these conditions upon us. Unfortunately, it seems the youngsters did not like my answer, though, to their demands. Now it seems that they may have done something unforgivable. These conditions, I never did find out. Ah, yes, that. It's not a terribly long story and happens before my time, but if you're willing to listen to an old chieftain prattle about the past, I'm glad to indulge you. It's only the youngsters had the patience to learn the history. Maybe this tragic situation would not have happened. Following the defeat of the Legacy and their forced dormancy, the Xerix were who suffered the greatest or possibly only losses in the war. We Talon were centralised and not much desire for expansion left them back to those of the assembly who desired freedom, so we were all far from the frontiers, where we were seen as cowards not fit to rule. Suspicions of discrimination escalated. Wild theories of our orchestrating the Xerix demise at the hands of the Legacy became common, and xenophobia reigned supreme until it came to a head. The houses of the Xerix united behind a single ruler, an emperor, and forcibly and violently ended the Talon Xerix assembly. The survivors from the Purge were herded into hundreds of planets across the galaxy, some to work as slaves, others forced into primitive conditions like us, kept technologically proficiency by an iron rule enforced by our watchers. That really is all there is. Look around and you will see the truth in the tail transfer. So what happens to the hunters? Youngsters who will be apprehended, brought before the tribal council to determine their guilt. I understand. Is there some way I can help? I believe you may meet opposition. On the other hand, I believe that some other hunters may also refuse the order to bring in the youngsters. I would ask you if you're willing to speak to the head of the hunters and tell them to call the hunters at my request. Right away, Chief. I think what we will do now, if I got a bit of cash. No, we didn't pick up any cash. Talk to this guy. Yeah, so we can get some stuff from him, but we can't at the moment. Who are you? This guy again. Crossbow bolts, fire some more scrapings, confetti scrapings. We do that. Yeah, he's only gonna sell that to us, not buy from us. Let's have a look at this guy. Friend, look at my farm. What have I produced? Have you not seen anything glorious? Truly, I cannot outdone any Polaris farmer. You look worried. My mushrooms are sensitive to changes in temperature. We're lately getting many cold nights and colder from the previous cycles. It looks as though we may lose an entire crop if it drops sharply. Ideally, I would like to cover my farm with beryllium nanofiber mesh, but the Xerox likely burn it to ash to see such advanced materials in the hands of that. Perhaps you can bring me 10 thermal regulators instead. So these are the missions. I think we could probably do that. I mean, what's it? Thermal regulators. I mean, they only need 2 iron ore. Oh, but we'd have to unlock them. I think they're under miscellaneous, aren't they? I think that could be worth doing, because we can make those in the suit with iron. The only problem is going to be weight. So let me just see. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've got some iron ore. I can always dig some if necessary. We've got 16 credits in here. We've got 14 of those. How many would we need to make thermal regulators? So we need about 20 or we're going to go and talk to the hunt master to move the mission forward so we don't have to come back. So just go and talk to this guy. So you're the Terran that the chief has vouched for. I'm not impressed. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here because the chief asked me to tell you to bring the young hunters that were suspected of selling me out to the Xerox. No member of my hunters would dare sell anyone to those treacherous Xerox thugs. You dare accuse my kinsman of making deals with that kind. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm here to make sure that you call in the hunters instead of warning them. Just get that. My people have no reason to flee false accusations, Terran. But I have already sent out a message to bring in the hunting parties an hour ago. Are they back yet? Well, no. They should have returned some time ago. This does not mean that they're guilty of anything. It's something that's delayed them. They might be in trouble. Then I will go out and bring them in myself. No, you will not, Terran. I will go out and you will accompany me to ensure that there's no deception on anyone's part. I can live with that. So where are we going? Young Keeve is the closest. He should be near the stone monument at this time of day. I will meet you at the top of the tower. If you cannot find him, he will likely be near the tower, visible from the top. Okay, let's go ahead. Now the tower is, I think it's the monument over there. We've still got a bit of daylight. Now I think what I'm going to do now we got to come back to give the farmer the thermal regulator. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of go to the monument now, we're going to kind of make our way back south to pick up the necessary bits and pieces, and then what we'll do is return with the SV. And what we're going to do is just shoot through the trees. In fact, this occurred to me, if I put that in there, I can put the Neo in there. Oh, it's still up. What we'll do is, I've got 4 of these. I can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure if these will stack. If they do, we're okay. If they're not, well, we'll just have to go there. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to head for the UCH wreckage and see what we can find. In fact, what I'll do, guys, is it's going to take a little while to get. Right, we're going to have to follow the water round so we can come across this land bridge here. So we're going to go this way and see what we can find. A bit of copper there. Right, guys. It's going to take a little while to get to the wreckage. So what I'll do is I'll see you once I get there. So here we are. We're back at the UCH wreckage. We'll just land here. Get that there. Do come here. We'll empty the hover bike. into there. How are we doing for the thermal regulators? They are stacking quite nicely. I'm not sure if I've got, well, we got more of those. Put that in there. Just can I get to the damage bike here? We'll keep the money on us just for the moment. So put that in there, put that in there. Leave the projectile ammunition. So we got quite a collection of stuff building up. We've got this radiation. I think somebody suggested that I should put this on. Could go over there, but I think I'm aware time is pushing on and my voice is getting increasingly dry. Just so I think just to wind up, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. First thing we're going to do is bring in the silver shade lights. For anyone who's not followed my series in the past, this is my kind of universal start ship. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not a major combat ship, but it's enough to get round to begin with. Just to give you a tour, what I've got is a single ammunition controller, about 4,000 odd space in it, and we've got a fridge as well, so we should be able to. If I put some power into it, manage the fuel, get that in there. It won't last long, but be okay. Turn the thrusters off, turn the power on. Got no shield. We got a couple of Gatling guns on the front, and what I can do then is silver shade lights. Transfer everything. Actually, we could. What's this? This is 106, but transfer everything from the other bike. Sorry, just Xeno material. In fact, that could probably. Whoops! I'm putting in the ammunition controller, not the fridge. That's not a very good idea, is it? So we've nearly filled the fridge up already. We've only got 100 capacity, but it's going to be okay. Ammunition controller. Well, I think that can put that in the vault. We got the ship. The next thing we need to pull out is some ammo. Because of course we can't. I'm not sure. Can't make 15mm in here, so that's a little bit of a problem. But we got some 15mm, 183 rounds. Not brilliant, but I mean, this is always the catch-22 with this game. That actually occurred to me. Yeah, silver shade. That in the ammunition controller. Can't remember if I've actually unlocked the Gatling guns on the. Let me just see that as well. Small vessel. Do we need a small constructor to make the 15mm ammunition? So we're gonna have to think about a base. So we can't go wading in, shooting up everything in sight because we don't have the ability to make that ammunition. Because we've either got a small constructor, an SV constructor upwards, and I think an SV constructor is one of these things where we've got to, let me just see, where's the SV constructor? There it is there. And we need a small constructor for that, or an advanced constructor. So we got 175. We're going to take that, and we could make that the problem is that in order to do that, we're going to have to. I'm not sure if this ship's got enough CPU, because of course we're on. We're actually in Reforged Eden, so this is a bit immaterial. So there's 6,000. This CPU tiers are locked, yes, because we don't actually have. We don't need to build these. We've got to build the extenders, and to make the extenders, we're going to need another another constructor. Let me just look at that again. Sorry for jumping in and out, but where are the extenders? Here we are there. Again, see, this is the catch-22 situation. And I think this is where I'm going to leave it for this video, because I think this is an ideal transition. We've now got the SV, which has got its light on. And what we're going to do in the next part is take over the UCH wreckage, and in order to be able to start working on the next project, which is the capital vessel. Also, because we've got a doo flicker in here, we've actually got a large constructor here. We will be able to make the necessary ammunition here, which we can then use on our ship. We've also got colonist bolt. Okay. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.